factor. And new pumps that, they make nowadays, the single phase pump will do things. They just put a little bit higher performance and power on it, and it'll get the same pumping, amount. But it's cheaper, so we don't need a rotor phase converter, we don't need three phase pump to drop the bill 12,000.
Bring this meeting to order. Everyone stand for the pledge, please. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Second.
All in favor? Hey, Paul, how are we doing with city ordinances?
So July 2nd, I met with the resident at 155 Jefferson regarding trapping cats. On July 3rd, I posted 155 Market Street for weed abatement, checked 196 Grant Street for weed abatement, which was noted and compliant. July 10th, there was dog complaints, 255 Front Street. Stopped to talk to the owner about that. On the 14th, had another complaint regarding his dog. Stopped and talked to him again. The first time it was actually off its chain. The second time he was walking with it, not on a leash. July 14th, posted 298 Front Street for weed abatement. July 15th, sent the second notice for nuisance ordinance violation to 452 Jackson, and a second nuisance violation to 155 Martin. Took photos of 299 Kelly Street for Lee, for the video store down there. July 18th, removed a cat from 155 Jefferson and returned to 345 Weston. July 18th, placed a 72-hour tag on an abandoned vehicle at 275 Martin Street. And July 24th, removed another cat from 155 Jefferson and returned to 345 Western Street.
Thank you. New business, Melanie Kellogg, EDC updates.
Hello. All right, so for those who don't know me, I'm Melanie Kellogg. I'm the Executive Director for B-Noble, which is Noble County's lead economic development organization. I just want to give a brief overview of what we accomplished last year and then what our goals are for this year into next year. So in 2024, we saw more than $107 million invested by local businesses within our community. Via real estate abatements, and then new businesses coming in, which is great proof to show that businesses are wanting to continue deepening their roots here in Noble County. Here in Rome City in particular, we saw a lot of interest in housing development. It's a slow process, but I am still working with the regional partnership on some ready funding, and with the Housing Resource Hub for housing to get some movement going. So we're getting closer and closer, and I'm hoping that as those conversations continue, we're able to grow even more. We did this year give $100,000 with our investment trust fund to Noble Early Learning, which is Noble County's second licensed childcare center. This is located over in West Noble School District. And it will serve children from 6 weeks to 5 years old, which will help get more and more parents out there working. I do also want to note that we just approved a $50,000 grant for in-home childcare services. So it's to help if you backstory with the vouchers being cut, more and more people can't afford to go to an actual facility. Their only option is going to be in-home childcare. Well, we want to make sure that everybody is still up to par and doing what they need to do to save place for our children. So with this grant, it is between B Noble and then the Northeast Indiana Regional Child Care Coalition. I believe that's the whole bill. But you can receive up to $5,000 to become a licensed provider, increase your licensing, and then level up to pass to quality. This also comes with a free Bright Roll subscription, which is great because then you're required to use it, and then we can see, okay, how many childcare providers do you have in your home? And then we can also monitor that you have the proper ratio kids to adults, making sure that everything is still up to par. And then what's great is you'll also get 15 hours of free business consulting. So if you're not sure how to do your proper budget or go through licensing, we'll provide that for you all within this grant. So it just opened two weeks ago. So we have flyers for you. So that's exciting. We are doing a lot of revitalization. So we've worked closely with LigTel to increase the fiber throughout Noble County. One of the things that we like to promote is that even if you are working from home, we're still a great place to come to visit, to live. And so LigTel gained more than 2,600 new customers this past year and laid around 202 miles of fiber across Noble County. And with the new grant cycle going through, there will be more. So even more of the county will have that access to high speed internet, which is great for individuals, but also really great for the school system. If they're working from home, kids have more chance of being connected. We know that youth are the future, so we have sponsored multiple STEM programs throughout the county. So we've done robotics camps, engineering, and then a lot of career fairs as well. So we've done one with each school district. They're starting to come in and get registered for next year. So as they're past the quality, high school students have to attend a career fair during school hours. And so we are working with all of our key partners to ensure that if it's trade school that's there or different manufacturers from across the county, make sure that those students have that ability to learn that as well. We also had a workplace preparedness grant that we received from the Community Foundation, as a grant that they received from Don Wood Foundation. And with that, we were able to give 8 individuals within Noble County gear to expand their career. So it was everything from a lady who just graduated beauty school, getting her clippers and everything ready for that, to people working in our manufacturers getting steel-toed boots, proper clothing, things of that nature. We also received a grant from Bosch this year. So if you know of any K through 12 STEM programs that need funding, we received a grant to help fund those throughout the whole county. Usually that was just for the manufacturing camp, but last year we saw such a need across the board from Purdue Extension and beyond. So if you know of any schools or clubs or organizations that might want STEM, we have funding for that as well. Sorry. We have also been working in partnerships with the Northeast Indiana Innovation Center to bring entrepreneurial coaching to Noble County. So we're doing this twofold. We have a representative that is in Albion and Kendallville twice a month, and then we're working over in Ligonier for Hispanic workshops to help bridge that communication gap and knowledge base gap. When I say that, we looked at the minority-owned businesses in Noble County, and one would think that we would have a lot. We have one, which shows that there's an information gap. So we're working on bridging that as well. So looking ahead to 2025, we are going to be really strengthening our business and retention. Visits, I guess that's what they are. So basically I go into the businesses and I will help connect them to other experts. So if it's a Purdue extension and they are looking to get a professor for free, because Purdue pays for that. And getting them connected that way, or if it's with Northeast Indiana Works, what have you. And then really figuring out what those businesses need to grow and to stay happy here in Noble County. Really working on building our infrastructure growth through ready processes, looking for other grants, things of that nature, because infrastructure is such a high need here. And I'm not just talking fiber, things of that nature, but sewer, potable water, things of that nature. So really being able to grow that so that we can expand industrial parks and housing. And then really working with schools and employers to make sure that everybody's getting the proper training and grants, because with the new legislative, students aren't necessarily going to have access to grants that they used to have. So we want to make sure that they have those opportunities and that information so that they are still able to grow and thrive here in Noble County. So yeah, that's really all I had. Just a question. Sorry. I tried to give like a 30,000 foot view.
It sounds really, really exciting and like we're moving forward.
We are.
Yeah.
We're doing great things. I'm going.
Sounds positive.
Yes. And we are already for the year at around $74 million invested. And that doesn't include some of the recent businesses that have been pulled, have moved in or will be moving into the county. So we're growing and it's great to see.
It is. And we thank you for all your hard work,
Yeah, I think
because it looks like you've been covering quite a bit there.
yeah, we stay busy for our nice team of two. And we have an intern starting on Monday, a high school senior for
Excellent.
East Noble.
How can we help you?
Just let me know if there's anything that I can do. So if you know of a company that's thinking about expanding, but they're not sure exactly where to start, send them our way. Or somebody who has an idea about a business, we can help them with that too. Or, I won't ever say that I'm the expert across the board, but I know people who are. And so making sure that those business owners and everybody knows that they're supported and not just out there in La La Land, I think is a big key to make sure that everybody stays successful.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anybody have questions for her? Before we move on? Rome City Elementary Offsite Drill at the Rome City Town Hall, Thursday, October 28th at 1 p.m. August 20th. Sorry.
You want to know what that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, the school has to have some place to go if something would happen on site there. So say like a gas leak or something like that. So they practice twice a year. They come over here and we put them all over the town hall. Wherever we can fit.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I think you help stop traffic and.
Yeah.
Something.
We have-
So,
All K-5. Some go into the basement, the younger ones come up here. So it's part of their disaster drill
Okay.
that they do.
All right. Thank you. Just station 40 rehab.
Got a quote on it. I recommend doing the coding, not so much the odor control.
So this is an updated quote from the one that you had in your packets.
Yeah.
And that has to do with, you want to explain it, Scott, the new pumps they have.
So the new pump, I said, the salesman went back to, Liberty Pump and asked him, because he wasn't sure at first, so he just put in 3-phase pump. So he did follow up with it, and then that's why he adjusted the bill later, because he found out that they could make the single phase pump to the same box. And, which it lowers the bill. And so we're trying to do away with those VFDs, because they're digital. Our power grid is at the end of the line around the lake in some areas, and it doesn't, those VFDs do not like it. Kind of, although we always have problems with them. So as we update them, we're trying to get rid of them, but it's a lot cheaper not to get a rotor phase converter and 3-phase cabinet and all that. So since we were into those single phases, helping them.
And you want to do anything about that?
Well, he mentioned a little bit about putting a coating on, so this particular station is degraded with the concrete. It's been in there for 50 years. We cannot, put a new one in that same area because we don't have enough space. The road is right up against it. So we will need to do the coating on that. And I think that's running 36,000 for that, and then the actual station portion is 82,000. The other item on there is an odor control. Is that something we can add later? We have
I made sure that he put space in the panel, put a breaker for one. That was not much of an increase in price. So we can add that odor control later date if we ever would like to. If we don't.
Well, in the past, we have had problems, but I don't know if it has to do with this coating can help take care of it, make the seal tighter on it. The location of the station, where is this one at, 4D?
It's on Lakeside Circle. It gets a lot of methane gas.
Is that the one down there by Mullins?
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
I think the other issue with it too is it's kind of in a hole. So where it's located, so when I notice we get the complaints when we have a lot of humidity.
Yeah.
In the air, it's holding it from coming out. So we'll just wait and see if we get complaints once we have it lined. We can install it after the fact. We don't need to do it right away. And Heidi did not give me updated numbers on the sewer count. I'm pretty sure that we have the money in there to do it, but without checking with her. She's in class this week. So if you would like to approve it pending her recommendation on funds, we could do that tonight.
No. I would like to go ahead and do that. I make a motion. Would like to make a motion.
I made a motion that we do lift station for you rehab on the basis that we had to fund it. Second.
All in favor? Aye.
You skipped over the sewer rate study.
All right.
Yeah.
And so,
Heidi and I had met with Indiana Rural, I want to say Alliance, I'm not sure if that's correct, but we met with them and he is in the process of getting us a quote of what that would be and if it would even be any cost for us. And we'll get back to you as soon as we find the information out, but he was encouraging that we would qualify, get it for free.
okay.
So it would just be a matter of us or Heidi getting the numbers together to get to them. So figure out where we're at.
And I would like to have a motion for our books to be audited before we do our final budget for this year. They haven't been done since Brenda Conley was our accountant. And with the new cuts from the government and so on and so forth, I would feel a lot better knowing exactly what we're working with for next year. The state audits every so often, but this would have to be done by an independent auditor.
What's the cost of that?
I don't know, and he charges it per hour. So it kind of varies, It usually runs down around about 600.
He has not got back with me yet. So
I think it was like 500 or 600 they did that.
Double something.
you just want general fund stuff, not sewer.
No,
No, no, sewer is.
I won't know.
She just went through the sewer, so, yeah.
Okay, that's fine. You doing the work too? Okay. Yeah. General,
And I'll, once I hear back from him. Bill is quilting, he used to be with the state board of accounts and he's retired, but he does work on the side, so. So he's familiar. I think he did our last.
Yeah, he did. last 2 out. So that was looking compliance.
Yeah. Okay.
Any motion for that?
Made a motion, we got the funds. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town manager report?
We had 8 meetings for the month. We had 11 building permits with a new house being built on Pleasant Point. It was a tear down and rebuild. 3 demos, 1 deck, 1 shed. Fruition in our industrial park is adding a building. We have 2 house additions. The foundation is also for Fruition. And 1 electrical. We did not have a July plan commission or BZA meeting. So currently, the 2 outstanding issues we had is Swaney on North Shore. He's currently being fined daily.
Is there any way to work with that?
Well, they're gonna, Dustin talked to his attorney, and they're gonna file an appeal. Which that's up, they have to file by August 18th.
Administrative. I don't know if I assume all 3 of the violations, but. It's the house. And
Well,
the,
you know,
separate violation,
correct, and the one,
the full bath. One.
that's the 2022 variances violation. So, yeah. So we'll just wait for them to file their appeal, see what they have to say in there. Then I have to write another note, I guess. Answer the appeal. And then Weisenberger, we're just waiting probably on a court date, right? At this point?
Yeah. I think they finally have everything in the record. The drug officer said that meetings. Sure, so they're finalizing the record so that we can get it submitted to court and by the trial conference to schedule a final hearing, which that's kind of what we're trying to heading into the fourth one.
Okay. And Conservancy District, we have our annual inspection on Friday. That does not include the praying. We do that every other year, or the tabletop exercise. That we do every other year. So my budget hearings are scheduled for August 13th and September 10th. Ecosystems is still treating the public access site, and on that note, from what he had talked about about the sewer plant last month, I had sent him some 3 or 4 questions that I had in concerns with the quote that he had given us to do the sewer plant. I have not received those answers back yet, so that's why I did not bring it back to you for a discussion tonight. I'm supposed to meet with him tomorrow, so we'll see if he has everything compiled up for answering those. Park board, we had our second concert on August 2nd. That was the Wise Guys and food trucks. It went really well. We had a good turnout. We had a pickleball tournament on Saturday. We had 10 teams. That went well. We have our last concert of the season is September first. Yep, the fifth. So that'll be the Wingman, and I think they do 50s, 60s, 70s. Bike trail update, we paid Culver for their last billing, so they're paid up. I'm working on purchasing items that we decided on for the monies that was left over from the grant. So once I get those and the receipts, and I have to send all that down to close the grant out.
Okay. Good.
Let's see. The chamber paid to have speakers and lights that change color, or it's one of their donations for their 35th anniversary. So they used the speaker system for the parade this past Saturday. So I didn't hear any complaints, so hopefully everything worked well. I'm still working on trying to get the meeting together with the industrial park people on the watershed plan. I think I'm gonna have a better chance this fall once everybody slows down a little bit, I think. Limberlost Landing, oh, we're moving forward on that, thank goodness. The station's installed, the testing's complete, the plat's been recorded. We found once we had the plat recorded that there are not enough numbers left between for all the houses that are on that plat.
Okay.
So now we have to name the private road, and everybody's gonna change their addresses out there to the new name, but it frees up a lot more addresses for us. So once we get the addresses, then I can do the annexation. So hopefully we'll have annexation, the documents ready for the September meeting, and then for the board meeting on it in October, November. My plan is to get it done before the end of the year.
That's good. That's good.
So what else is on there? On the video store cleanup that Paul had mentioned earlier, I'm trying to work with him to get that cleaned up. And he only cleaned up around the sign. He cut the trees down, but he didn't do anything else with the rest of it. So I have a guy that does he does a lot of different work for us, and I asked him to give me a quote. He's like a jack of all trades. He does a lot of different things, but I can't have like a tree service won't come in and do it because it's more than just what tree work is.
Yeah.
It's actually cleaning up all the rest of the junk that's back there too. So, because on the backside, it's the mess on the back. I want that cleaned up so that it can actually be mowed and maintained. So hope he thought the next
Has
week.
anyone talked about that property going up for sale? Or anything?
No, he's got plenty of money and he's paying the taxes on it, so it's not gonna go up for sale. So the only way I think if I can get him a quote of what it would cost, and I was gonna give him the opportunity to go ahead and do that before we did it. 'Cause if we do it, we'll have to pay for it and put it on his taxes. If he would do it outright, because he doesn't live here, he lives in Florida. So for him to know of finding somebody to come and do the work.
Yeah.
It's probably difficult, so I thought if I could find somebody and get him a quote, he might be able to get it cleaned up without any further, pressure from us to get it done. Hopefully. That'll work. I don't know. And that's it.
Picking 1,236. 1,836,055 gallons. That pump we put out 1,398,367 gallons. We were shut down for about a week because we were having some issues with faucet levels. We had 3 fallouts, 72 row gates, pulled 1 pump. On some of the stuff we did this month, out here around the pump or the well, we removed all that sod out there, put weed barrier and put river rock. For the speakers, we actually installed a switch on a GFI with a plug above the door for the Bluetooth speakers. Also, we installed, the four LED can lights, had to cut the old can lights out, put soft enough, destroying it and put the new ones in. Diagnosed problems with backhoe and repaired, we shipped several days. Installed a pallet rack in the shop to organize better. Took the sander insert from the plant to the shop, so it would be stored inside. Put out barrels for the parade, also picked up and put away. We put gravel along Bernice and Kerr Island North to burn the edge of the road, so it wouldn't be such a drop off on the edge for the cars driving off the edge of the road. And we also power washed the outside of the rat building.
Sounds good. Thank you much.
I go with the employees with everybody.
Pardon?
I go with the employees everywhere.
It went fine.
Yeah.
And, signed it. Said he was sorry. Won't happen again.
City Marshal's office.
Okay. Vehicle mileage, squad 1, 39 miles, squad 2, 1,088. Squad 3, 552, and squad 4, 1,428 miles. Hours worked, I worked 181.25 hours, less than 151, then 157, part-time 52, and reserve 16. And ordinance violations, abandoned vehicles 1, animals 7, nuisances 2, wind abatements 2, parking 2. Officer initiated events, business checks 69, assist other departments 20 times. Warrant served or attempted 1, extra patrols 12, park security check 120, community precinct 14. Traffic violations, 11 tickets written, 56 warnings. Other events, 4 VIN checks, 3 wind checks, 21 golf cart inspections, 3 ORV inspections. Complaints, 1 animal complaint, 10 miscellaneous complaints. 1 suspicious person, 1 suspicious vehicle, 1 suspicious activity, 2 disabled vehicles, 2 fights, family fights or disturbances, 3 accidents, 3 medic assists, 2 911 calls, 3 civil processes, 2 driving complaints, 3 citizen assists, and 2 for found property. Case is open. July 5th. Intimidation, disorderly conduct, criminal mischief, and criminal confinement. July 5th, invasion of privacy is a separate complaint. July 9th, theft. July 13th, operating without proof of financial responsibility, prior offense. July 14th, unlawful possession of a syringe, unlawful carrying of a handgun, possession of meth, possession of a controlled substance, and driving while suspended. July 22nd, possession of meth, and July 27th, reckless driving. Meetings attended. I attended an online meeting for Northeast Law Enforcement Training Council, Town Council on the 14th, and July 30th, I met with the head of Benchmark or Enact. They are a program that is funded through 988, which was just created maybe 2 years ago, under the last administration, and with the cuts from Doge, their funding has been eliminated.
Really?
So they were an organization that if we had somebody that was experiencing any type of mental health crisis, drug or alcohol problem, we could call them. They would come right to the scene. They would take over And if they felt that the scene was safe for them, we could go back to work and they would deal with that person and take them to treatment wherever they needed to go.
Yeah.
So at the end of August 31st is the end of their work. So,
Any hopes of coming up a grant or funding for that from somewhere else?
um, I doubt it. I talked with Dave Abbott. So we can see at the state level, maybe start talking about some legislation or reaching out to our federal legislators to maybe get that money reinstated.
Yeah.
The other thing that we have that I reached out to the sheriff and all the chiefs. Part of the opioid settlement dollars that every community got. There's restricted and unrestricted funds in that. The restricted dollars, most of the cities don't ever be able to use it because they don't have a purpose. The sheriff's department's funding a release coordinator at the jail with some of that money. But other than that, I've reached out to them to suggest maybe being billed for those calls.
Yeah.
The other flip side is like Parkview Behavioral Health. They have a team that can respond, but to rural areas, their time limit's like an hour and a half to actually make the scene. So, and they're coming from Randelga. Northeastern Center can, but they're coming from Auburn. So,
And that's 45 minutes.
yeah. So, this was our best option. They usually enact benchmark. They usually made those calls anywhere from 30 minutes to 45 minutes every time. So,
Bowen Center used to have a response from the Albany area.
that's, yeah, that doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
They have one, but it's at their office down in Warsaw. So it's gonna end up going back to us responding to those calls and having to deal with them. Taking a big chunk out of our days. So, and that.
That's too bad. It was a much needed thing.
Oh, yeah, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
They did great work for us, so I'm gonna see.
They also covered up things like, autism, children with
Oh,
autism
yeah.
and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
It wasn't just those out on drugs or whatever.
No,
It was
Any
any
type of-
mental health or
Yeah.
neurovision
yeah,
type of a
any type of crisis.
situation for them. You know, how to handle it. We have, our numbers keep going up with our autistic
Mhm.
and, you know, it's not unusual for anybody to call out for a crisis of any kind.
Yeah, it's gonna be, if we go back to the old way that we used to do things, and take them to Parkview for the initial, if they're willing to go with us to Parkview, then they basically become a parking patient. And otherwise, we have to transport them over to Auburn, the Northeastern Center, to that facility. So either way, it's going to take a big chunk out of our days.
Well, I hope we can find some relief in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Keep us updated on that.
Okay. Training attended or conducted. July 15th, we did department training. Stops training, which is strategies and tactics of patrol stops. July 24th, I completed converted instructor update. And July 29th, we did department training, patrol rifle qualifications. Special events and activities, July 4th, we set out the barricades and put up no parking signs for the July 5th fireworks. July 5th, we set up barricades on Front Street, taped off the seating areas. And then we worked the celebration, picked up and put everything away. So, make for a very long day. Other notes. Mounted road closed signs on July 17th on 12 of our barricades. Main appointment at Max Platts for a noise with Squad 3. July 29th, Woodrange City Police Department used our shooting range. And July 31st, I mounted road closed signs on our other 13 barricades. So all the barricades now have road closed signs mounted to those. For incidences in town, in April, we had 143, May 269, June 227, and in July 233. Immediately surrounding and outside of town, in April was 59 instances, May 166, June 128, and July 119. The Sheriff's Department in town had 29 incidences in July. April there was 25, May 20, and June 26, and then again 29 in July. And then right outside of town, they had in April, the Sheriff's Department had 76 in April, 75 in May, 74 in June, and 85 incidences in July. The speed radar sign on Front Street. Overall summary. Average speed was 25.57 miles per hour, with the minimum being 5 miles per hour and the maximum being 63. Average value per day is 647.4 vehicles. I don't know where 0.4 comes from, but 4. And then,
Greater than the dragon plane.
something I've been the horses I've got. Total value of cars in the month of July coming into town, 20,070 cars or vehicles.
I have had a couple of calls for Herman Street at school time
Mhm.
with some speeders over there.
Okay.
So if you would, I'd appreciate it if you could maybe make your presence known at beginning of the school day and end of the school day down there. Because they were going at a pretty good clip going past the house about 3 days in a row. You know, kids out there going to school now.
Yeah.
You're worried about the ones that come up over the hill.
Yeah,
You can't see them until you've gone over the top of the hill.
and there's no stop sign on that side, so.
No. Anyone have anything else they'd like to contribute or ask? Please.
What is the ordinance for the trash cans? I think, I remember right. You can put it out the night before and it has to be put back. That same day that it's picked up. Is that?
Yeah, it's,
The reason I asked is North Shore has a lot of, non-residents that put it out when we leave on Sunday and put it really close to the road and it's fairly easy to hit them. And they're there all week, all week. And some of our neighbors, they don't even put it in when they're there on the weekend. It just lives at the end of the driveway. I just wanted to.
Yeah, it's supposed to be brought back. It's not supposed to be.
I think it's next morning or
That's.
something like that.
Yeah.
I know that's how it looks with mine. We put it out on the Thursday night and haul it back in on a Friday.
Yeah, that's what we did.
But, we have the same issue with two businesses across from us. We've been putting them out at the end of their drive and just leaving them.
We have that and, you know, during the storms and the wind and it pushes them into the road and then somebody has to, you know, stop their car and pick them up and.
Yeah,
It's just, it's getting a little.
my alley's a little narrow and goes to the liquor stores, so
Mhm,
if those guys see we're gonna cut it down.
mhm.
Well, if there's nobody else, make a motion to adjourn. We don't want to do that. Okay, then. Okay. We have claims of town funds of 406,266.29 and sewer operating funds to be paid at 51,747.19.
Make a motion that we replace funds of the sewer operating expense.
Oh, and you made a motion to pay the other claims.
Second.
All in favor? Yeah. Do you have a list for me to sign?
Yes. Mhm.
Make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you.
Before, take your time.
My last year, also, it worked out great. No, I haven't blown out. Street.
Kids, maybe you should take some. You do it. You get it. That's what I-
It's just like Granville State Park is only running from that mark on the top. Until I get up there, I just had. Because they cut the lot. Because they go slide.
Oh, yeah, the float string.
There's the alarm and everything. I got them right there.
Yeah.
Oh, and they smell, which luckily we call warriors. So we're all around. And it was like this. And I got to.
No, not so luck. Yeah. It's never ending. I thought it was gonna expire. Great. They were-
That's like 3,000 ounces. Dunham's. And Mark and Schaefer. I know it doesn't. To be but I didn't overflow. But yeah, so I got probably tomorrow or the next day, we're gonna go up and start trying to locate where they gave them. But.
Well,
Yeah, because they get. I work. South Star. Right there. But it's got a black door.
So.
And I go back up without. I had.
Oh, yeah. I was just curious, I seen it there one day, I come out, was leaving for work, so. Oh, I have no power to pump.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm making money for them. Out of the sewer fund, and labeling it government service. I took it to our town attorney and he done nothing wrong. He kept saying, "Who's going to do, going to do, going to do," and he never went anywhere.
Well,
So-
because you